think we might be live. It looks like we are. Hey everyone, welcome. I'm actually going to take off these headphones. Let me know if the sound is okay in the chat room. I was hearing myself on a little bit of a delay. Anyways, want to welcome you guys to this week's Steep Chat. This is something that I am hopefully going to be doing maybe every week. We'll just see. If someone can, in the comments, let me know that I am live and that you can hear me, that would be awesome. Not getting any confirmation as of yet. It looks like we are live. So yeah, let's get after it. Sound is a little low. I will turn that up. Thank you. Appreciate that. Low volume. Still working on my setup here a little bit. As you guys can see, we are here in our, this is our Aravaipa studio. Low volume still. Okay. Volume's too low. Much better. Right on. Cool. Thank you guys. Okay, we're gonna get right into it. I want to welcome Haley Pollock. She is works for us at Aravaipa Running, and she's going to be in the chat room. She'll probably say hi here in a second, but she'll be Aravaipa Running in the chat room, so she'll help to answer any questions you guys have. I'm also going to be jumping in as well. I've got a little bit of a show itinerary today. This is something new that I'm going to be doing. I had such a good time hanging out with all you guys about a week ago when Barkley got canceled. It was just an impromptu thing, but it was really cool just getting to hear from all of you guys and see what's going on in the world. I think it's more important than ever to stay connected and just kind of reach out and be available for one another. So yeah, it's really awesome to just have you guys in the chat here. So please, if you guys do have questions, please drop them in the chat room. We are going to get to those, but I do have some things that I wanted to check in with for you guys. So yeah, to get started, just a quick check-in since my last live video. Barkley was canceled a little bit over a week ago. It's kind of sad. It started hitting me, in reality when I had to cancel my plane flights and cancel my Airbnb. And of course, I would be heading out, I think tomorrow was my flight. Yeah, you can bring it in. We got a couple goodies that just got finished up that we're going to share with you guys here in just a minute. Just set them right here on this side of the table. Thank you. So yeah, that's the check-in right now. Yeah, obviously no Barkley. So kind of looking ahead for me, I've got a couple races I'm going to talk about in the future. But yeah, I haven't been running a lot lately. I've been just working a ton because, our company is going through a tough time, as I'm sure many of you out there are right now. We're in the events business, and events are canceled for the indefinite future. So we're trying to come up with ideas and things that we can do to keep our staff employed and kind of be valuable, productive members of society, so to speak. So that's part of our big push for content and media. And it's honestly something I've been really wanting to do for some time, is to provide more of a creative outlet that way and to connect with people. So this kind of gives me a chance to explore that as well. Yep, I do see Haley in the chat now. She's Aravaipa Running, so I'm sure she'll help you to answer those. Anyways, I wanted to touch base a couple housekeeping items. So we did a video. I did 8 essential items for the Barkley, and we did a contest, a giveaway. So we have a winner of the contest. I asked you guys to join the Run Steep mailing list, and the winner was Terry Anderson. So he won a autographed copy of the Frozen Head State Park map and 2 cool stickers. One including was this "You Either Know or You Don't" Frozen Head State Park with a yellow gate. I thought this was hilarious. The park is getting in on some of the Barkley merchandise. I think if you call them, they will ship this to you. So hopefully we can send a little bit of business their way. If you guys want to call up the Frozen Head State Park. You can get the map. You can get stickers sent your way. Check it out. We are going to be doing, for those of you who didn't win that contest and maybe you're just tuning in and didn't know about that one, we are going to be doing another giveaway for our newest virtual race. So we're launching the Aravaipa Strong virtual run event. It's coming up April 17th through the 25th. You guys can check out the details. We'll link it below. We're going to be talking more about that, especially on the Aravaipa channel pretty soon, but I will let you guys know how to enter that a little bit later in the show. What else have I been doing? Yeah, like I said, not running much. I did get in one run with my brother. We went up north, up to the Mogollon 100 course to kind of just get away from people. The parks and trails are crowded right now, believe it or not, here in Arizona. We are not currently on shelter-in-place lockdown. But yeah, it definitely makes me uncomfortable seeing so many people out there. So I'm trying to, when I get out there, get out either alone or literally with, someone in my own family if possible, and just doing things on my own, which I think is what we should all be doing right now. So what is on my calendar personally? I am actually going to be doing a couple virtual races coming up. It's really our only option right now for competing. So I just saw this pop up and I had to jump in on it. There's the Quarantined Backyard Ultra. Now, this is put on by, I think Dave Proctor is involved in it. It is essentially a Big's Backyard style race. I think Laz is going to be doing some live commentary, but there's, I think, 20 or so elites. There's a couple hundred people signed up. We'll also link that below, but that's going to be April 4th. So that's going to be my next event. You do the 4.2 miles an hour and then once an hour. So I'm going to be doing either my backyard loop or on a treadmill that's at my house. So I'll have probably do some more on that soon. I'm also going to do the Aravaipa Strong 50K. So the virtual race I was just talking about, that's the one that Aravaipa is putting on. And that's coming up after that. So in April, I'll be running that 50K. We currently are offering a 5K up to 50K distance, but if we get enough interest, I don't know if there are people in the chat room that are signed up, or if we heard a couple of people are looking for longer options, but comment and let us know if you want, say, a 50-mile option, maybe a 100K option. And as far as for races beyond that, currently I'm signed up for Hard Rock. I'm not really sure what will happen with that one. It's really up in the air right now. Western States just put out a press release that they're considering possibly postponing or canceling. So Hard Rock is probably going to be the next one to go if things don't return back to some normalcy. So we're just not sure right now. But I am putting together a training plan. So I'm working off of my training plan from 2013 that I got from Ian Torrance. He was my coach at the time. And he coaches with his own company, Sundog Running now. He was with McMillan at the time. And so I've got a training plan that's going to start right around the Quarantine Backyard Ultras. So we'll check that out too. Let's go to a couple of questions in the chat room here. Let's check it out. Thank you guys for being here first off. We got a question. If you have time, can you make a video about keeping fit at home? Yeah, that's a great idea. So I'm going to start out, my first one is just going to be showing off my setup. So I have a treadmill at home and I've got a little loop in my backyard that I built. So I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek at that. That video should come out later this week. And then as I start to use it more and more, I can make some more videos for sure. Let's see, we got Chuck Hall. Hello from Chuck and Lori from Louisville. Hey guys, how's it going? Going to be in Petros, Tennessee tomorrow, four-wheeling. Oh, nice. Brian McDermott. I'm jealous. I wish I was out there right now. Stephen Bates asks, how can we help? Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. So there's a few ways if you guys want to support what we're doing here. Basically, three things right now. Number one, you can support us on our runsteep.com. We have some merchandise items that we're shipping out. You can also join our Patreon. So we just launched this. We've actually had a Patreon for one of my other YouTube channels, Mountain Outpost, and we are broadening it. So it's going to be under the banner of Steep Life Media. We're going to be putting out bonus content, Actually, Patreon contributors, we have some already. They're going to be able to access a bonus post show after this event. So if you want to go right now over to Patreon and search for Steep Life Media and join up, I'm going to be posting the link to the post show, and I'm going to be doing some bonus content just for you guys who are Patreon supporters. You guys can support for as little as $2 a month, and it really goes a long way to supporting our video editors. We have 2 video editors on staff here, and just everything else that we're trying to do in terms of content. So we really appreciate that. The third thing is supporting our virtual races. Right now, it's kind of a good and bad thing. So, our in-person races are shut down, which really sucks, because part of the awesomeness of our events are our courses and our people and our community that we all gather together. And so we can't have that right now, but we have a global community and a global reach, and everyone can be involved in those. So we are absolutely going to do a Run Steep Get High virtual race. We're just testing the waters right now with the Aravaipa one. So if you want to stay tuned, we'll be launching that probably in a couple weeks once we dial in all the details. But for now, you guys can check out the Aravaipa Strong one. So yeah, those are a couple ways to help out. Otherwise, just subscribing to the channels is always appreciated. Aaron Lancaster, hanging out in the North Phoenix area for a week. Just did Sunrise Peak and Thompson Peak via Gateway Loop. Where else would you recommend? I have 3 more days here. Yeah, I would say, man, it's getting tough right now because everything's so crowded. But if you can get to some of the more remote areas in South Mountain, I would recommend that. I just did a little bit of a run off of 32nd Street and Baseline, just straight up. It's definitely a good place to go. Let's see. Housekeeping item, clean that floor. Actually, it's not even dirty. It's a concrete floor, and those are whatever they did to the floor before. It's like old paint or something. So it's just, we ground it down and sealed it. But I appreciate it. Let's see. Becca Wilson, thank you for Aravaipa Strong. Awesome. In Brazil, all the races were postponed. That's pretty much happening here. Any suggestions for a replacement on Whiskey Basin? I think, where'd that question go? Near Tucson. Oh, a replacement course? I mean, you could do something up near Mount Lemmon on the Arizona Trail. I think that would be pretty awesome. Will Draxler, how has race cancellations affected your motivation to train? So yeah, this last week I felt a little weird because there was really nothing on the horizon, and that's why I quickly wanted to latch on to something. So signed up for the virtual race, 2 virtual races, and then also I have Hard Rock. So I wrote out a training plan for that starts in a couple weeks, and I'm going to hold myself accountable. And even if Hard Rock doesn't happen, I might just train the cycle as if it were happening, and who knows what I'll do with the fitness. But I think the journey along the way is half the fun. Anyways, I do want to shout out Jacob Callens for the super chat shout out here. He says, thank you for the great content. I appreciate that very much, Jacob. Thanks for tuning in. Disney Bill, how can Barkley still keep the mysterious urban legend feel, or has that ship sailed with all the coverage? Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's up to the perspective of people out there. I'm still as in love with Barkley as I ever was personally. And I know I put out a fair amount of Barkley content, and I think I've definitely gotten a little bit of criticism for that. But I think Laz wants that. He definitely does not shy away from media. So I don't know. I think that I kind of follow his lead. So let's see. Jim Muir signed up for the 50K Aravaipa Strong, but would love to see a 50 miler. Cool. That's great feedback to hear. And that's something we're definitely considering. If you are looking for video ideas, can you do a series on how to carry camera equipment for long runs and best practices for filming? Absolutely. So yeah, I don't think I have anything here right now, but I will definitely I'll do a whole running camera tips video. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Let's see, what else do we got here? What does Aravaipa stand for? That's a great question from Disney Bill. So Aravaipa comes from Aravaipa Canyon. So it's a canyon in southern Arizona, a wilderness area, and it's a place that I went to with some friends when I was in college. It's basically has a creek flowing through it. There's no real trail. You just hike right through there. And it's actually named after an Indian tribe. And the roughest translation I could gather is Laughing Waters, which isn't the reason we chose it. I just really like the name and I love the area. So that's where we got it from. It's one of my favorite places to go. Eric Clark, thanks for all the great content. I definitely have several of your races as target races for me. I'd be interested in a 50-mile virtual race. Okay, so it sounds like we probably are going to add a 50-mile. One other thing that we are talking about doing, so our goal for the virtual race is to get 500 people signed up. And if we hit that goal, we are talking about releasing a 100-mile belt buckle so that you could earn over the whole week. So sign up for your 50K or half marathon or marathon. And if we'll release that. And if you do 100 during the whole time, we'll have this limited edition belt buckle. So hopefully we can get that going. We got a super chat from Jim Cooper. Can we set up an online tool to have gyms rent treadmills to runners? We need the treadmills. They have them and can't use them. That seems genius to me. Maybe I can contact some local gyms here in the area, or maybe someone's watching. I'm not sure. Scott Burton, have my flights booked for return to ATY. Hope things get better by then. Oh, I sure hope so. If they don't, we're all in trouble, I think. Okay, we're going to take a quick break from this, and I wanted to do something new and a little different here, and we're going to do a nostalgia segment. So I'm going to do some live commentary and reacting to an old video, and this is going to be from the 2007 Javelina 100. This is the first time I ever went to Javelina 100, and it was, first time I ever experienced it, and this was the year before I took it over as race director. So I went here this year, I volunteered, I made this video and put it out on YouTube, and then once the race was over, I was offered to take over the race, and that was what started this whole madness of Aravaipa Running and race directing and all this stuff. So I'm gonna load this up right now, and let's see. Wow, I apologize. Should be good now.
Can't hear you.
Now we're good. Okay, so we are starting over. I apologize. This is technical difficulties, guys. I might have just blown out some eardrums. So basically, I'm gonna give this one more shot. I apologize. I'm new to this program, using it in studio, so we should be good to go now. I am going to start this. So this is the 2007 Javelina 100. This is what the start line looked like. I think there was maybe 125 participants. Yeah, so the video is not going to have sound because it was just, too loud and everything. But here we go. Javelina 100, 100-mile Halloween party, 2007. Here we go. Here's the start of the race. It was just a chalk mark in the dirt, I'm pretty sure. RIP headphone users, that's right. So we were at Jackass Junction. There's Andy Jones Wilkins out front. There's the aid station. It's a one pop-up tent, which is hilarious if you guys have been to Javelina 100 now. There's the offerings. Not a lot has changed. You can see typical aid station food there. Looks like they were using a chair as a stand for the water bottle fill-up. There's Jeff Riley, I think. Michael Hayden, that's a name that I almost forgot about. He's like 17 years old running. You got Connie Gardner and Michelle Barton there up in the women's race, duking it out for those chips and the water bottle fill-ups. And coming up right behind them, Anyone recognize that gentleman in the Sunsweet jersey? That would be race director of Western States, Craig Thornley. Pretty cool. So yeah, there's my brother as well. But yeah, you've got just such a simple aid station. It's really funny to see this in action. There's Wendell Doman. He's the original founder of Pacific Coast Trail Runs, PCTR. He was running back in the day. When I was out there, it's tough to remember for me, but you know, I didn't really know what this stuff was all about. I was pretty new to the ultra scene. I had just joined, ran my first ultra in 2005. So this is like 2 years in for me. And I remember seeing the website for Javelina Jundred, and there was this picture of like some guy was wearing a costume with this blonde wig, and it had like an ass basically like hanging out of his shorts. And I thought it was the funniest thing ever. Yeah. So here is just a, kind of a montage of everyone coming in. I will say the editing is just on point here with the fade to black on every single shot. You just gotta love it. Got a vintage Crown King Scramble t-shirt right there. Let's see what people are saying on the on the chat room here. We got make a blooper of all the videos that you made so we have something to laugh at. So hey, there's a costume right there. We've got Keith Straw wearing the pink fairy, and he has a little star wand. He even spray painted his shoes. It's pretty funny. Got some people with some custom shirts on there too. The gentleman in the red shorts there, that's Dan Brendan. He's an absolute legend in Arizona. He used to run every single race that we had out here. This is really cool. There's Jeffrey Foote. This is like bringing a lot of good memories back for me. Jeffrey Foote has closing in on 100 Aravaipa races right now. And yeah, you got to love the porta potty sneaking in the background there on that trailer. You know, we know how to do it right. Let's see. We got some other questions in the chat room while this video continues to play out. We're waiting for some more interesting parts to pop up. Jonathan Nice, what's your favorite brewery in the Phoenix area? Best brew they make? There's Eric Clifton with the fluorescent skirt right there. Classic. Favorite brewery? Man, there are quite a few. I definitely like the Fightem from the Shop Beer Co. It's probably one of my favorites. So what we're watching right now is, even back then, Javelina was the washing machine loop. So you got all the leaders coming back. Where they're positioned, this is Jackass Junction aid station. It's about mile 10 on the loop. So when the people come back, they're at mile 20. And you can kind of see the pile of drop bags and mountain biker right there. Pretty cool to see people doing that 13 years ago. Any video of Jam Jam with short hair? There's definitely some videos. You have to go way, way, way back to find some of those. And he says the age of long shorts, for sure. So, yeah, let's see. Any more questions in the chat room here while this goes up? Yeah, we got some people that are saying that we might owe some people some compensation here on 324. Brian Sands has a question. I know the Cocodona 250 is way off, but what inspired you to look out and plan a 200-plus mile race? So for me, it was just, I think as my own running develops and grows, I wanted to do something that goes to the next level and to a new level. So I think not only that, but testing myself as a race director. So we've put on quite a few challenging runs, and we just wanted to do something that was big, that celebrates the state of Arizona and goes through some of the most interesting places out there. I'm going to go back to my view real quick. And I'm going to wait for that to get to a little more interesting section of that video. But yeah, let's jump back into the chat room if you guys have any more questions. When did you start using stabilization when filming? I think it was about 4 years ago. I was using the DJI Osmo when that first came out, and also some gimbals for a GoPro. So yeah, about 4 years now. It's amazing how it's come along. Let's see. Ethan Bonnell, I've just started running trails. Any beginner tips for someone who is more accustomed to running on roads? I would say just start with flatter, easier trails and slow down. I mean, it's okay to walk and hike out there. Definitely not a problem. We got a comment from Mitchell McLaughlin. So many waist belts. Absolutely. Yeah, that's hilarious. I'm going to switch this back and hopefully the audio doesn't come. Okay, so it looks like, where are these guys? They're kind of on laps 2 and 3 here. Again, we're watching some highlight reel from the 2007 Javelina 100 right now. There is Connie Gardner. I think she ended up winning that year, and she was battling Michelle Barton. Just a nice, smooth, easy stride there, running around the Pemberton Trail. Got some other questions. Are the virtual races confined to U.S. residents only? Nope. We are definitely allowing international entrants. So all your swag might take a little bit more to ship. So it's going to be a little more expensive, and also it'll take longer to get to you. But yeah, it's open to anyone around the world. Another question. Would you ever consider doing WAM again? Yeah, I definitely would consider doing it again. There's other races on my bucket list, but I would for sure look at it again. I wish they could open up some of the other peaks that they originally had planned, but I know that isn't likely because of the grizzly bear situation. Marathon 007 would love to see the Aravaipa race directors sit down with a beer and tell funny and inspiring stories. That's a great idea. I think for now, while we're trying to limit our exposure, maybe we'll do a remote chat with a couple of the RDs. Definitely have some stories. Let's see here. We've got a question. Which would be a good 100-mile Aravaipa race for a first-timer? So we pretty much have 3 options for you. We've got Coldwater Rumble 100, Javelina 100, and Mogollon Monster. I think it just depends what type of a runner you are. So if you want something a little more laid back and low key and guaranteed to be cooler weather, Coldwater is your best bet. If you want the big atmosphere and party, Javelina 100. And if you want more of a mountain race, I would recommend Mogollon 100. Let's see. Neil Ainsworth. I've started training 4+ hour runs and would love some advice on avoiding and dealing with the mid-run pooping. Okay. So I guess I would say maybe timing your meals and, oh, there's the umbrella. Okay. So there was a comment on this video, and yeah, there was like, shout out to the guy with the umbrella. He was using it for shade protection, which is pretty funny. So now we're back at Javelina headquarters. If you guys know the race, this is what it used to look like. So you can see there's quite a few people milling around, but it's super low key. I mean, they don't even really have a tent set up for the aid station. It was done all under those ramadas there. People are just drinking right from the hose, and you can see the start finish line is just a mat on the ground and a couple cones. Yeah, this is basically where Aravaipa got started. So we inherited this race. There's Mike Melton there in the tuxedo taking care of people. If you know Mike Melton, he was wearing, I think, 4 or 5 different costumes that day. At one point, he was in a red dress. I don't know if there's any video footage of that. I guess we'll have to see, but he was basically playing concierge. So we're 15 hours and 15 minutes in, and I think our winner's coming in soon. It looks like Jorge Pacheco. There he comes, and yep, there's your winner, 15:49. Jorge Pacheco won Javelina 100 that year, 2007. And the full moon party. Okay. I think we're probably ending. There we go. So we'll go back to the main feed. So yeah, let me know if you guys enjoyed that. We might do some more of those, or maybe some dedicated videos just looking at some old content like that. Let's see. Some other questions in the chat room. What would you recommend as a starter camera for filming runs? So I am a big fan of GoPro, actually. I think they're some of the best. They've come a long ways. They kind of had their up and downs over the years, but I'm filming with the GoPro Hero 8. You don't even need a gimbal or a stabilizer. It's completely stabilized, so I would highly recommend that. I didn't really finish answering Neil Ainsworth's question. How do you deal with mid-run pooping? So I always find if I have a cup of coffee and give myself some time in the morning, that can definitely help things. And I think just eating maybe a little bit more fiber in your diet vegetables 12 hours out from when you start your run. Make sure that you're not eating last minute so that you can kind of take care of that before you get started. Scott Burton, you have many of the best ultra runners in your races. Would love to see more interviews like you did with Joe Fiji's. Cool. Yeah, I think that's great feedback. Just sitting down and doing like a finish line interview maybe. I think that would be really cool. '07 looks so long ago. You're telling me, man. For sure. Porch Turds, ever consider running Spartathlon? I haven't seriously considered it. I think one race on my bucket list globally is the Reunion Island race. That would be really cool, I think. A lot of climbing. I'm more of a mountain guy than a road guy, that's for sure. Leo Mendoza, hello from Los Angeles, California. Hey, how's it going? Jacob Callens, new runner. Would Hoka Challenger be a good shoe for mostly road but dabbling in the trail? ATR. I'm not super familiar with that shoe. Maybe some people in the comments could jump in on that. Looks like Mitchell McLaughlin did, and he says, yeah, I use it as a hybrid shoe. He loves that shoe. Our coach, hi Jamil, who is faster, you or your brother? Did you all grow up in Phoenix? Yeah, we all grew up in Phoenix. I was born and raised here. So asking about my brother Nick. So yeah, Nick is definitely faster than me at shorter distances, especially right now. But it just, I think as it gets longer or steeper and harder, we equalize a bit. Let's see. We got Taylor Bronner commenting that GoPro stabilization's so good, for sure. Let's see. Alex Swanson, Jam, as you watch this awesome vintage footage, do you think Aravaipa took the path you planned, or did it evolve into something you never would have imagined? It definitely evolved into something that I never would have imagined. I didn't really know what I was doing back then. I was just following my passion wherever it led me, and it just taking it one step at a time. You know, now we're doing YouTube videos and all kinds of other stuff. So it's really been a fun ride. And I think that's what I love most about race directing and being in this business is you have to wear so many different hats. You have to learn so many skills. You have to be adaptable. You have to be willing to do pretty much anything. And I've had to do it all. Some things I didn't even, looking back, it's like I never would have imagined I would have had to deal with this. You know, positive and negative things. There's some unbelievable stuff that has been really difficult and challenging for our local community, things that we haven't talked about publicly that we've gone through. And it's all been just part of the learning experience and learning curve. I wouldn't really change it for anything, though. And I think that's what we're going to continue to guide us, is just following the passion. And yeah, I think it's going to continue to be an interesting ride. This chapter coming up is going to be, we've been through some challenges, and I think this is going to be the toughest challenge of all. And it's kind of a frightening world out there right now. Definitely. There's a lot going on in the industry. I know there's a lot of races that are, they're calling off their entire year. They are laying off staff. So it's definitely difficult times. We're having to cut back on our staff a lot too. So definitely going to be interesting how the rest of 2020 plays out. I think it's very different than a lot of us imagined as we rang in the new year. But yeah, I'd love to open it up in the chat room. I'd love to hear from you guys. I don't just want to take your questions. I'd love to hear more about what's going on in your area in terms of quarantines and how are you guys running? For me, we're fortunate. I don't know. Honestly, we should probably be closing some of our trails just because they are absolutely overcrowded right now. And that is what's happening slowly but surely. We can kind of feel the walls closing in here. I think we just had a closure from the Tonto National Forest. But yeah, I think we're all going to have to be creative for a while. We're going to have to be using treadmills. If we don't have treadmills, little tiny loops just to get our exercise in. So, let me know in the comments, where do you live? Where are you from? And what is it like out there right now? I'd love to read some of these off just for the greater public, people that are tuning in. We hear what's on the media or a news story, but I'd love to hear directly from you guys. Where are you at? We got 1 mile to go. A question, is Lauren Curry your sister? She's killing it lately. So that's my sister-in-law, my brother Nick's wife. Brent Cassidy, hey Jamil, Brent from Atlanta, will virtual race and Cocodona. Awesome. We're putting out more info on Cocodona soon as well. John Muir, when you are focusing on vert for a workout, do you worry about pace? I usually don't if I'm doing vert. I just try and get there. If I'm on a treadmill, I will try and mix it up between a jogging pace and a hiking pace. Chuck Hall, a question from Lori. Where do you see Aravaipa in 5 years? Wow, that's a great question. I would love to see us just kind of a completely vertically integrated company where we can offer a whole suite of offerings for our events, from shirt printing, award making, to course design, multiple states, all kinds of distances, all kinds of outdoor recreation opportunities, with a full media arm as well. So the production of exciting programs for people to tune into that surround the races and tell stories that people want to hear and see and watch and listen to. So I don't know. That's what I got at the top of my head right now. We'll see what happens next week. What are your thoughts on running while sick? Better to rest or sweat it out? Well, I think that's a timely question. So I don't know. I think sometimes I think you got to rest. I think especially right now with what's going around, I think we really got to listen to our bodies right now and take care of ourselves. Kate Thompson, what happened to the Trail Currents podcast? Great question. I think we got busy and we had to prioritize some other things for a while, and hopefully it comes back at some point. That's really my answer on that. DM, do you stick to a regular running routine each day, or do you squeeze your training into your busy work schedule? I've been terrible at squeezing my running in, and so that's part of the reason for bringing back a training program. So I've loaded all of my training runs onto Training Peaks, and I'm going to be using that to track my daily progress. So starting in 2 weeks, I'm going to be going to running every day. Let's see, maybe some war stories from an RD, the good, the bad, the funny, some behind the scenes. I think that's a great idea. Jeffrey Tweed, tons of users are out on the trail. Not sure if it's because of the quarantine or because the weather's so good. I think it's a combination, probably because there's like gyms are closed, bars are closed, restaurants are closed. People are working from home, so they're probably just stir crazy. And the weather, especially here in Arizona, is just amazing right now. So I think that's why people are getting out there. Oh, wow, we got a ton of comments now. Let's see what we got going on here. So we got this is just some news from around the globe of our viewers here of what's going on. So here in Boulder County, lots of users are out on the trails, mostly doing a good job at distancing. Living in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Jeffrey Tweed, tell us what's going on there. April 4th trail marathon in northern New Jersey was canceled. County Park, where I do a lot of training, was mobbed today. That's what's happening. Michelle H. from Phoenix, running around the neighborhood early AM or late at night. That's another good point, is using off-peak hours for your runs to avoid people. Chase Bauman, the trail I run had 100 plus more people Saturday than any day the last 2 months. I mean, it's good and bad, right? It's awesome to see people out there, but I think we all need to watch out for one another and do what we all need to do, which is give each other some space right now. Arlen Morrison, here in Kansas City, we're supposed to be doing essential business only. I live in a fairly low population density and have been running on the sidewalk, trying to get as many hills as possible. We've got Ryan. Wow, there's a lot. Just bear with me, guys. In Minneapolis, the city trails are packed on the weekends. Have to run early to avoid. Colorado Springs is in limbo. San Diego recently closed state and county parks. They are enforcing this by closing the parking lots. People are just parking in the streets nearby. All state parks and beaches are closed in Hawaii. Okay. I believe that includes all trails. Running at the weekend and found it hard to avoid people on the trails. That's, for me, has been tough because even I was on a trail yesterday and I just didn't want to get close to anyone just in case there's any possibility of transmission. And so I was trying to run down a pretty narrow trail, and I just had to stop and wait. So I gave people space, and I just kind of took a deep breath, watched the sunset, and once they were out of the way, I ran back down. Knoxville, Tennessee. Shout out to Airman Cottrell. I wish I was heading your way tomorrow. Just killing a 2-mile neighborhood loop during nap time. Hope to get to Frozen Head Challenge loop at some point. Here in Chico, California, we're under shelter-in-place order, still allowed to exercise outdoors alone, which is great. Brian Sands, no stay-at-home order yet in Iowa. I live outside in the country, so I can run on back dirt roads. Question, do you think the Cocodona 250 would be a good first 200-plus mile race? I mean, I'm going to be biased and say absolutely yes, it would be great. Obviously, it's longer than just 200, but you're also going to get 5 full days to do it. I think it's unmatched in diversity, beauty, history of the towns, and just the overall experience for not only you, but your crew. Your crew's going to be able to check out these amazing towns in Arizona and have a lot of perks along the way. Mitchell McLaughlin, also, many people are really not taking the lockdown seriously, to be honest. And I see that as well. Question about my treadmill. Do you use the Nordic track at the full 40% incline? Sometimes, yes. And I actually just did, I may have just done an all-out mile at a pretty high grade, and it was very difficult. Did you ever use the 6% decline? I haven't. Katie Williams, can't believe in Colorado hasn't closed most parks and trails. So many group runs going on out there. Let's see. Annapolis, Maryland's a small city, but I've been having fun guesstimating how far I need to be to dodge people with a 6-foot distance. All right. Be careful out there, guys. Best ways to train for an ultra with solid elevation gain in an area that's flat. Doing some hill repeats, but getting bored. I think doing speed work can be a good substitute for hill work. Not 100%, but you might want to do some speed work, so fartlek workouts, so where you do a hard run for 5 minutes and then you back off. You could also do your hill workouts and do repeats at a hard effort, and that will give you more of a gain. We've got, let's see. Dwayne Scott says, I'm running late at night in the neighborhood on 1-mile loops. Do what you got to do, right? Aaron Schwank, how to train for 200-plus miles run. So I think it just depends on your base. I think doing kind of the same way you would train for a 100-miler, you just might want to do more hiking, honestly, because in a 200-miler, you're going to be having to trudge through a lot of stuff and not going to be able to run the whole time. So you're going to have to be able to keep up that walking pace even when your feet are pounded. Even doing successive days of that, I think would be good once in a while. Couple more check-ins from around. Question, Roger Martin, how much of the Cocodona Trail is on the trail, any road running? So yeah, I think it's around 50% single track, around 40% dirt, road, Jeep trail. So that's a combination from smoother forest roads to really rough forest roads that behave more like a trail. And then about less than 10% is actually pavement, but going in and out of some of the towns, there is a little bit of pavement here and there. And that's kind of our rough calculation. We've had some route modifications, so we're still dialing in the exact numbers. We're hoping to do a pre-run in May if we are not quarantined at home to stay in place, and we'll have exact numbers, and we'll share more on that soon. Plenty of empty trails in Mississippi. All right. Let's see. Hello from Texas. What is the hottest temperature race you have run? If you haven't, would you ever run Badwater? So the hottest I've ever run in, probably one of our night races here in Arizona. It started at maybe 108 degrees. I've crewed and paced at Badwater before, so that was upwards of 120 out, and that was brutal. I don't have a strong desire to do it. More Cocodona questions. I'd love to volunteer for Cocodona. Will there be info on the website? Yes, and that's a great reminder. We'll probably put up a link to at least start to get a list of people that are interested in volunteering, because we're definitely going to need people to help run aid stations and maybe mark the course, sweep the course, get involved that way. DC running groups have canceled group runs and off-peak hours in Rock Creek Park. Okay. Let's see, we'll get a couple more here before we kind of wind down the today's show. Let's see, we've got a hello from Northwest Florida from Casey Morris. How's it going? Darren Way, with getting my meniscus repaired last Friday, I'm not having any problems staying away from people. Honestly, it seems like maybe a good time if you have an injury or something that's holding you back from running to take a step back and let it heal up. Just don't be in a rush right now. Mostly because there's just so much unknown out there, and it's tough to plan for. Shane Donnelly, hey, from Northern Ireland, shout out. We have just got locked down today, but we can go out once a day on our own, so going out early. Hope to visit AZ after all this. Awesome. Jeremy Koning, best training advice for a move from the 50K to a 50 miler. You don't need to do a lot more. I think you should increase your overall volume maybe by 10 or so %. And I would say your longest training run should be a little bit longer. But honestly, I think your mental component is the biggest difference from getting from a 50K to a 50 miler. But yeah, up your mileage a bit, up your long run a little bit, and really practice your intake of food. A 50K, you might be able to squeak by okay on a standard gels and blocks and stuff, but you might want to practice with real foods. That can be a game changer in a 50-mile race. I know for me, I will consume a lot more real foods the longer a race gets. We've got a question from Ted. Have you run and I'm going to butcher this, Ouachita Trail, Oklahoma and Arkansas? No, I've never been to either of those states, actually. What is your best Salomon shoes for running between 50 and 80K? For me, my kind of standard shoe that I've been liking a lot for ultra distance of any length is the Ultra Pro. I also have had good luck with the Sense Pro, and they have the Sense Pro 4 right now. So I would recommend either of those. The Ultra Pro just is a nice cushioned shoe, and it's wider. Salomon shoes notoriously have been narrow for like the European market, but they've really expanded and had some wider stuff. Have you ever tried out the Salomon Sonic 3s? Yes, I have. Which ones are you looking at? Because they also just came out with a whole new line, the Confidence, the Balance, and the Accelerate. I only have the Confidence, which is the beefiest one. It's really comfortable, really cushy. I really want to get my hands on, or my feet on the other two as well. What do you think of the Salomon Speedcross 5s? That's from Gay Plants, sorry. I'm not a huge fan of the Speedcross 5. I think just because it doesn't fit my foot very well, and it also has a larger stack height, although you can't beat that aggressive tread. Jamil, where's your new watch? It's in my car right now. People, I think, are sick of seeing this blue watch, but I am going to be sad when I switch. We've got hello from the Beast Coast from Jared Gell. That is all. It's time for bed since I have to get up at 3:30 a.m. to get my run in. Thanks for keeping us motivated. Get to bed, Jared, and keep that motivation going, brother. Lainey Scruton, I'm Lainey from Port Dover, Ontario, Canada. Have you ever signed up for a long race and realized you had bitten off more than you can chew? What did you do? Oh, man. I guess I signed up for the Ronda del Sims and realized it was probably going to be more than I could chew. So I trained my butt off. Like, I trained like a crazy person and maybe trained a little too hard, and I think that might have hurt my performance in the end. I don't know. I think sometimes we do get excited about a race, but I don't know. I think all you can do is be mentally strong and prepare physically best as you can. Any chance of cutting the hair while in quarantine? Possibly. I've been thinking about taking some inches off for sure. I was probably going to get a trim before Barkley, and now that that's gone, I might get bored enough at some point. Best jacket for rain but breathable. I think there's many brands out there. It just depends if you want a lightweight or a heavy. I guess my advice on that would be to find something that is around 16 ounces of weight that is going to be waterproof enough to keep you warm. So I've used jackets from the North Face in the past. Currently I use Salomon, but there's really a lot of good options out there. I would just get something heavy enough. We've got Sam Spinrad. Hi, Jam Jam from Bowdoingham, Maine. What length run, in your opinion, is the threshold to weaken the immune system too much for coronavirus? Man, I don't think I could really begin to answer that. I think it's about listening to your body, maybe checking your heart rate. You know, if you're having trouble sleeping or getting out of bed in the morning, I think you need to back off. I just wouldn't risk it right now at all with everything going on. I would just exercise caution for sure. Just got the Solomon Advanced Skin 12. Love it. Sweet. That's my go-to pack right now. How's Haley doing? Getting any runs in? Feeling okay? Haley, that's a question for you. Brian Sands is asking. I'll let you answer that in the comments. Let's see. Bright Wolves, heading out for a run. Actually, I enjoyed the live stream and would like to watch another. Cool. Yeah, let me know if you guys want me to do this. I think we've got about 250 people in the chat room. I'd love your feedback on other things that we could talk about here. I like what's going on in the chat room. I think it's really cool to have people just connect in there. And you know, I don't know. I'm not sure if the nostalgia video was a good idea or not, but we might do some more of those, or possibly I have so many like clips and scenes that I'm just sitting on from various video projects that we might pull in some of those too. I'd love to also start to pull in some guests on the show. That'd be awesome. I'm still trying to figure out the technology on that. Let's see. Jeffrey Tweed, any new crazy ideas for videos with Skylar? We don't have anything on the plans, but we have a couple of unedited videos that we are working on. So we're hoping to dial in some edits on that and release those soon. Have you ever ran on weed? No, I've never really used it, so I have not. Shane Donnelly, what do you think of the Hoka 10.9, the one with the big heel? I think it's hilarious, and we are hoping to do a Hoka 10.9 video with my brother. Yeah, let me know if you guys want to see that. We might do a Hoka 10.9 versus Nike Vaporfly downhill mile. That's what we're kind of throwing around right now. If that sounds cool, let me know. Haley did respond, so I'll just say that for any of our audio listeners. I'm okay just plugging away at what we need to get done right now. I am, however, training. I need all the miles right now. It's my daily de-stress. And I just got to shout out Haley real quick. She's going above and beyond right now here at Aravaipa and working so hard. So I just got to thank her for all of the amazing work and really all of our team. So if you guys want to support her and all of us here, consider the Aravaipa Strong Virtual Race. I am going to do a quick plug, and you guys are going to get a chance to win an entry. So I'm going to explain that right now. Yeah, all the details are posted. I'm going to grab some of these goodies. So this is, we designed this. This is something new. Right here it's the Aravaipa Strong logo. So this is something that we made in-house. Literally put this together in the matter of a couple days. This is the race t-shirt. You'll have the ability to order additional goodies. Like this is a cool singlet that you can get. We're also got hats for purchase. And the awards, which just got completed today, this is what the finisher medal is going to be. So this is made in-house, and this is directly supporting our staff for Aravaipa artwork. So we make some in-house stuff, and it's got this really cool acrylic layer, so it's like see-through and clear. And yeah, this is all about just getting together the community of people, and we want to get as many involved as possible. If it goes well, we'll probably do some more virtual type races, like I was mentioning, Run Steep. So if you guys want to enter, this is our premium award. I'll show that real quick. So you can choose at checkout if you want to get the medal, or you can get this desktop award, which I think is one of the sweetest awards that I've ever seen. And I guess I've already earned it because my name's right there. So I still got to do the miles though. But yeah, that is really, really cool. But we're going to give away an entry today, or not today, but we're going to give away an entry to you guys as the viewers. So if you want to enter, please join our Run Steep Get High email list. So if you've joined recently, actually we're going to do it for anyone who's part of our mailing list ever. So if you've joined it at any time in the past, if you're not sure, go ahead and click the link. We'll put it at the top of this, or you can go to runsteep.com, and maybe Haley will put it in the description there. But yeah, we're going to give away at least one entry there. Check it out. And if you guys want to support us, that's awesome. Or if you just want to continue to subscribe to the channel, we appreciate you guys just tuning in. So yeah, I don't want to kind of talk too much more about that right now, but that is something that we're working really hard on over the next month to do. And you'll see some more about that from me as I'm going to be doing that 50K as well. Not sure the course I'm going to run yet. We'll have to see if any of our trails are open here in Phoenix. If they are, I'm planning to hopefully get out on the trails and pick a cool route. Otherwise, I'll be doing it on my treadmill, maybe around my neighborhood or even in my backyard. So let's see. We might wind this down here in a second if I have any more questions. Oh, we did get one from Jake. Are you in for the quarantine backyard on 4-3? Yes, I am. I am doing that one. That'll be my next race. Alex Dieter, struggling with solo running as I'm used to running with people. Any advice for running by yourself? Yeah, I run mostly by myself. So I think, I don't know. I guess if you need music to distract yourself or use a podcast, that could be one thing. I personally just love getting out alone, and it's where I have my best de-stressing and my best thoughts. So I love getting out by myself and hitting the trails and exploring on my own. I think it's a lot of fun. Can we add on stuff for the Aravaipa Strong race if we've already entered? That's a great question. I believe you can. Haley might be able to answer that. I think you can just go to the shop at Aravaipa and you can add items. If not, I'll make sure that we can do it. Nicholas Wynyard, do you do anything extra for ankle strength? I've been blessed with roll-prone ankles. So I like to tape my ankles. I use Kinesio tape and do a one-piece wrap. And that, especially if I've been rolling them lately, I'll wear that. I think for strength, there's a bunch of strength workouts you can do. I don't have any specific ones. I think for me, running on trails is an automatic strengthener. So if I can tape my ankle and keep it from rolling over, I can build strength that way and keep it healthy. Richard Vane, dude, when are you going to come do more runs on the Beast Coast? I guess when we're allowed to fly and travel again. I would love to. I think we're all going to be itching for it. All right, run the canals. Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up unless there's any more. Just as a reminder, you guys can also support us now on Patreon. Search for Steep Life Media on Patreon, and I'm going to end this show and start up a new one that's going to be an unlisted. It might take me about 5 minutes to get it up and running, but if you are on Patreon, I'm going to post the link on our Patreon channel, and you guys can also access the bonus show later. But we'll have more of a private chat if you guys want to ask any more questions of me. But I don't want to take any more of your time right now. Thank you guys again for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, please comment, let me know, and we'll do it again next week. And anything else you want to include, I want to make this interactive and fun as possible and hopefully include some more segments in the future. But anyways, please be safe, everyone, and we'll see you next time. I'm going to end the stream now. See ya. Oh, one more time, Ted B. One more time, how to find the Frozen Head State Park stickers. Call Frozen Head State Park, and I think they'll ship them to you. Tell them that Jam Jam sent you. Andrew K. I want to register for Flagstaff Extreme Big Pine. Will I be able to in a few weeks? So yeah, as long as we get the go-ahead to hold the race, we're going to open registration back up. We're just kind of on pause right now. So just stay tuned, follow us on Facebook, and we'll find out. All right, thanks guys. I'm going to end this.